Hello and welcome to Meadow Bakery. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make baklava. Before we get started, head over to my website, meadowbakery.com. Sign up if you haven't already done so, and then close the page. Go to the courses website where you'll find a list of courses available to buy on my website. When you find the one that you like, you just click on it and you'll be taken to a sales page where there'll be a video telling you more about the course, and there'll be a bit more information down the page about what's involved in the course, and then you click buy and follow the buying process. In this pot, I have some sugar, water, and lemon juice. I'm going to stir this until the sugar has dissolved on a low heat on the stove. When the sugar has completely dissolved like this, you leave it to simmer for about 5 minutes until it turns into a syrup. Okay, when the mixture turns into a syrup, you add your orange flower water or rose water. I'm using rose water. You put about a tablespoon of the rose water into it and stir. Rose water smells absolutely amazing. And then leave this to simmer for about a minute or two. Okay, this is ready. So I'm just going to switch the stove off and then get it off the heat and leave to cool completely. While the syrup is cooling down, it's time to get the nuts together. So I've got some blanched almonds here. Blanched almonds means that the skin has been taken off, like this. And then I have some pistachios, shelled pistachios. And in here, I have a mixture of cashews and walnuts. This is a perfect time to use up any nuts that you have lying around. So I'm going to chop these. You can put them in a food processor and do that, or do it by hand. I'm going to use a chopping board. I'm going to chop a few at a time. Like I said, you can use a food processor if you want. So for this baklava, I need some finely chopped nuts and also some roughly chopped nuts for the crunch. So the roughly chopped ones I'm going to do by hand, and the finer ones I'm going to do with the food processor. But you can do either way. If you don't have a food processor, you can just still use this method. So this is how easy it is to chop nuts by hand. Okay, so I've got a large bowl where I'm going to add the processed nuts. I mixed all the nuts in there, the almonds, the pistachios, and cashews and walnuts. And also have these ones that I chopped by hand. I'm going to add some sugar, ground nutmeg, cinnamon powder, and mix. This smells absolutely amazing because of all the spices in there. Okay, now it's time to assemble the baklava. So I've got the nuts and the mixture in there. I'm going to put it to the side, and I've melted some butter. And I'm putting this to the side. And now for the baking tray you use, I'm using store-bought filo pastry, which is exactly the same size as this. There are different sizes, but I chose this one so that it fits well in my tin. I'm using shop-bought pastry for this one, but you can make your own filo pastry. I've made filo pastry before. If you want to make your own filo pastry, click on the link above. Okay, so these sheets, they come frozen. They are used for samosas, spring rolls, and baklava. So there are about 40 sheets here, and this is how thin they are. I've left them to defrost. They're found in the freezer section of a shop. So I'm just going to peel one away. Okay, this is how thin they are. Right. Okay. First off, I'm going to grease the bottom of my baking tray just with the melted butter. My baking tray is greased at the bottom. Next step is to, I'm going to put this to the side, and the next step is to butter the phyllo pastry sheet. So, let's use a pastry brush for this. So I need to butter the other side, but I'll put it in here first. Make sure it's set. Then I will butter this side. So I've buttered this side, and I'm going to put the next sheet of phyllo on top. So instead of buttering it, because I've put quite a lot of butter on there, I'll just place it on top like that. I'm putting 4 sheets at the bottom, so I put 2, and then I'm going to add 2 more. Okay, so this is the 4th sheet, and I'm going to now add about 1/3 of this mixture. Just estimate, you don't need to wait, but if you want to, you can. Okay, looking good. So when you've got about 1/3 of the mixture on there, the next step is to add another sheet of pastry. This time, because it's not buttered, I am going to butter it again, just as I did with the very first sheet that went to the bottom of the tray. Okay, so now I'm going to add 1/3 of the mixture, and I'm going to repeat the process by adding 2 more sheets, and then I'll show you what I'll do at the end. Okay, now I'm putting the rest of the mixture on top. And this one is going to be topped off with 4 sheets of phyllo pastry. If you run out of butter during this process, just melt some more. That's what I did. I didn't have enough butter for the last sheet. Just melt some more and keep brushing. Okay, so that's the final layer gone on. You can cut the pastry however you want to, whichever way you want to cut it later on when it's baked. You cut the top layer, create lines on it, which you then use to cut it again when it's ready. I think I'll just make squares, they're a lot easier. I'm not sure if the lines will stay on after baking, but it's worth trying. If they don't, you just cut it when it gets out of the oven. It's not a big deal. Okay, now these are going in the oven. You can preheat your oven, or you can just switch it on now for a few minutes until nice and golden brown on top. The baklava is nice and baked through, and it's nice and crispy on top. So next step is to pour the syrup that you made in the beginning. Just going to stir it a little bit. It smells amazing because of the rose water. Okay, just going to pour it all over the top. You do this as soon as it comes out of the oven while it's still hot. You can faintly see the lines that I made earlier. I'll use those as a cutting guide later. Okay, I'm going to cut this. This is quite crumbly. Just going to pat it down a bit. I think it's probably best to cover it with foil while it's cooling, so that some of the moisture is trapped into there, to make this slightly softer to cut. I'm going to lift this one out with a spatula. Look at that. It looks absolutely delicious. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon. For more videos like this, visit my website www.meadowbakery.com. Please like and subscribe to my channel.